Anna had always loved the quiet moments in her life. She lived in a small town, a place where everybody knew each other, and every day seemed to follow a calm, familiar rhythm. Her mornings usually started with the soft sunlight pouring into her kitchen, the aroma of freshly brewed coffee filling the room. She would sip slowly, watching the world wake up outside her window, the birds hopping from branch to branch, and the occasional neighbor walking their dog. Life, though simple, had a comforting predictability that Anna had come to treasure. But that day something was different. It was a warm spring afternoon, and Anna decided to take a walk to the local park. She often visited the park, but mostly to enjoy the quiet paths and the gentle sound of children laughing in the distance. Today, though, there was a strange energy in the air, something she couldn't quite put her finger on. The park seemed busier than usual, filled with the cheerful sounds of children playing, dogs barking softly, and the rhythmic swoosh of swings moving back and forth. As Anna strolled along the winding paths, she noticed a young woman sitting on a bench, her face pale and drawn with worry. The woman's hair fell in messy strands around her face, and her eyes darted nervously from one side of the park to the other. In her arms, she held a small child who was squirming and crying. The child, a little boy with wide, curious eyes, seemed frightened and restless, tugging at his mother's shirt while letting out high-pitched whimpers. Anna paused for a moment, observing the scene. She had a natural instinct to help, a quiet empathy that had always guided her actions. Seeing someone in need, especially a mother struggling with her child, tugged at her heart. She took a deep breath and approached slowly, trying not to startle either of them. "Hi," Anna said softly, offering a warm smile. "Do you need some help?" The woman looked up, her eyes wide with surprise. For a moment it seemed as though she didn't know how to respond. Then relief washed over her face and she nodded quickly. "Yes, I don't know what to do. He won't stop crying and I'm so overwhelmed." Anna nodded understandingly. She had seen children struggle with new experiences before, and she knew that sometimes all it took was a calm presence to help them feel safe. "It's okay," she said gently. "Why don't I try holding him for a little while? Sometimes, a different pair of arms can help a child feel more secure." The mother hesitated, her eyes flicking between Anna and her child. The boy continued to wriggle and cry, his tiny fists clenching and unclenching. Finally, with a shaky breath, she nodded. "Okay, if you think you can help." Anna knelt down carefully and extended her arms. The child's eyes widened as Anna gently lifted him, cradling him close. At first, he stiffened, his small body tense with fear. Anna spoke softly, using a soothing tone, telling him that everything was okay, that he was safe, and that she was there to take care of him for a moment. Slowly, the boy's body began to relax and the crying softened into quiet sniffles. The mother watched in awe, her hands trembling slightly as she realized the immediate difference in her child's behavior. "I don't know how you're doing this," she whispered. He's never calmed down this quickly," Anna smiled gently. "Sometimes all a child needs is someone who is calm and patient. They can sense it, even when they don't understand the words." As Anna held the child, she felt a surprising connection. There was an innocence in his eyes, a trust that seemed to leap from him to her instantly. She had never felt anything quite like it before, a deep sense of responsibility mixed with an unexpected warmth. It was as if the boy was telling her, without words, that he felt safe in her presence. The mother, whose name was Maya, took a deep breath and wiped her eyes. "I'm so sorry," she said, her voice trembling. "I didn't mean to. Today has been too much. I don't know what came over me." Anna shook her head gently. "No need to apologize. Parenting can be overwhelming sometimes. You're doing your best, and that's all anyone can ask for." Maya nodded, her eyes welling up with tears. "Thank you. Really. You have no idea how much this means to me." For a few quiet moments, they simply sat there. Anna held the child close, feeling the gentle rise and fall of his breathing. the small warmth of his body against her chest. She noticed the subtle details, the way his tiny fingers grasped at her sleeve, the soft curl of his hair, the trust in his gaze. It was a quiet, powerful moment filled with unspoken understanding. Then unexpectedly Maya spoke again, her voice hesitant but filled with a strange determination. I want to make you an offer, she said. It might sound hard to believe, but it's true. Anna blinked, surprised. An offer? She asked cautiously. What kind of offer? Maya hesitated, her eyes searching Anna's face for a reaction. I can't explain it all right now. It's complicated, but I need someone I can trust, someone kind and patient, and I think that person might be you. Anna's heart raced. She had helped a mother calm her child, but she had never imagined that it would lead to anything more. Yet there was something in Maya's voice, a sincerity and urgency that she couldn't ignore. I don't understand, Anna said slowly, still holding the boy carefully. What do you want me to do? Maya took a deep breath, her fingers brushing against the child's hair. All it requires is that you hold him for a little while. Longer, that's it. Just hold him and care for him for a short time. After that, everything else will make sense, I promise. Anna felt a mix of curiosity and disbelief. The offer sounded simple, almost too simple, but there was something about Maya, something genuine and earnest that made Anna want to trust her. She looked down at the boy in her arms, noticing how calm he had become, how much he seemed to respond to her presence. Slowly, she nodded. Okay, she said. I'll do it. I'll hold him. A small, relieved smile crossed Maya's face. Thank you. More than you know, she whispered. As Anna continued to hold the child, she felt a strange sense of anticipation. Something extraordinary was about to happen. She could feel it in the air. It wasn't just about helping a mother and her child. It was something deeper, something that would touch her life in ways she couldn't yet imagine. The park around them seemed to fade slightly, the sounds of children and birds becoming distant. All that mattered was the warmth in her arms, the trust in the child's eyes, and the mysterious promise in Maya's words. Anna didn't know what the future held, but for the first time in a long while, she felt a mixture of excitement and hope, ready to embrace whatever was coming next. Little did she know, this simple act of holding a child would set in motion a chain of events that would change her life forever. It was the beginning of a journey filled with unexpected lessons, emotional growth, and a bond that went beyond words. And all of it started on that warm spring afternoon, in a quiet park, with a mother, her child, and a stranger willing to trust her heart. Holding the small child in her arms, Anna felt a strange mix of emotions swirling inside her. The boy was calm now, resting his tiny head against her shoulder, but the weight of Maya's words still lingered in her mind. An offer? That might be hard to believe, Maya had said, her eyes filled with an intensity that made Anna pause and think. She had encountered people in need before, but there was something unusual about this situation. It wasn't just about helping a mother with her child. It felt as though she had been chosen for something far more important, though she didn't yet understand what it was. Anna glanced down at the boy, whose small fingers gently curled around the edge of her sweater. There was innocence in his eyes and trust, too. He had allowed her into his world without hesitation, something rare in children. Holding him, she realized that this simple act, which seemed so ordinary, carried an extraordinary weight. She could feel the responsibility pressing gently on her shoulders, not as a burden but as a call to care and protect. Maya sat on the bench beside her, her hands folded in her lap. She looked at Anna with a mixture of relief and expectation. I know this may sound strange, Maya said quietly, but it's important. I need someone who can see what I see. Someone kind, patient, and honest. I think you might be that person. Anna tried to meet her gaze, searching for a hint of exaggeration or playfulness, but there was none. Maya's expression was sincere, almost solemn. I, I'm not sure I understand, Anna admitted. What exactly are you asking me to do? Maya took a slow breath, her eyes never leaving Anna's face. It's very simple, in a way, and yet it's unusual. All I ask is that you continue holding him for a little while longer. That's all. Just keep him close, let him feel safe, that's it. Everything else will make sense soon. Anna's mind raced. It sounded almost too simple, almost ordinary. But she sensed there was more beneath the surface. Maya's calm but urgent manner suggested that this was no ordinary favor. There was an underlying significance to the request that she couldn't quite put into words. She looked at the boy again, noticing how peaceful he had become. His tiny chest rose and fell steadily, and his little eyes blinked slowly as he seemed to drift in contentment. Holding him, Anna felt a warmth that was more than physical, a quiet, comforting connection that seemed to transcend the moment. After a pause, Anna finally nodded. "All right," she said softly. "I'll do it. I'll hold him." Maya's eyes glimmered with relief. "Thank you," she whispered, her voice almost trembling. "You don't know how much this means to me." As the minutes passed, Anna focused entirely on the child in her arms. She spoke to him gently, telling him stories about the trees in the park, the birds singing above and the flowers blooming along the paths. The boy listened with fascination, his small hands occasionally reaching out to touch her hair or trace the lines of her sweater. There was a quiet magic in the simplicity of it, the way he responded to kindness and attention. Anna felt a surprising sense of fulfillment. She realized that this moment was teaching her something important, not just about caring for a child, but about being present, patient, and open-hearted. Every giggle, every tiny sigh, every trusting gaze from the boy seemed to echo a lesson she had forgotten in the routine of her life. Maya watched in quiet admiration. She didn't interrupt, didn't offer guidance. She simply observed as Anna connected with her child in a way that was natural, intuitive, and profound. She could sense that Anna understood something essential, something that went beyond words or instructions. And in that understanding, Maya felt a sense of hope. Minutes turned into what felt like hours, though in reality it was only a short while. Anna continued to speak softly, telling stories, asking questions in a playful tone, and laughing at the boy's small, delighted reactions. Each smile from him seemed to light up the air around them. Anna noticed how he began to imitate her, gestures copying the way she moved her hands or tilted her head when she smiled. It was a small thing, but it filled her with joy. Then Maya spoke again, her voice calm but firm. "There's something I need to explain," she said. "I know this may sound unbelievable, and you might think it's too strange to be real, but please hear me out." Anna looked up at her, curiosity mixed with cautious anticipation. She had no idea what Maya was about to say, but she trusted her enough to listen. Maya continued. "This child, he has a way of sensing people's hearts. He responds to kindness, to patience, to sincerity. That's why I asked you to hold him, not just because you're helpful, but because I believe you can understand what he needs in a way no one else can." Anna felt a shiver run down her spine. The idea that a child could sense hearts and intentions sounded almost magical, yet she couldn't deny the truth she had experienced in the park. The boy had calmed in her arms, responded to her voice, and connected with her in a way that felt profound and real. Maya's next words made Anna's heart skip a beat. "I want to offer you something," she said softly. "Something that can change your life, if you choose to accept it. And all it requires is holding him, caring for him, and being present with him for a little while." Anna's mind spun. Change her life? How could holding a child possibly do that? And yet she couldn't ignore the feeling that this was true. There was a sincerity in Maya's voice, a quiet power in her words that made doubt feel out of place. She looked down, at the boy again. He was resting peacefully, his tiny hands occasionally stretching out to touch her face. She could feel his trust, his innocence, and something else. something almost indescribable that seemed to radiate from him. In that moment, she understood a little of what Maya meant. There was a connection here that went beyond ordinary experience. I'll do it, Anna said finally, her voice steady. I'll stay with him. Maya nodded, a small smile of relief crossing her face. Thank you, she whispered. You have no idea how much this means. As Anna held the child, she began to notice small, subtle changes in herself. Her thoughts felt clearer, more focused. She noticed the details around her, the sunlight filtering through the trees, the gentle rustling of leaves, the way the air carried the faint scent of flowers, and she felt a sense of peace she hadn't experienced in years. Holding the boy seemed to awaken something in her, a sense of purpose and connection that was both new and familiar. The boy, too, seemed to respond to this change. He looked up at Anna with wide, trusting eyes, and she felt as if he understood her in a way that words could never convey. His small hands reached for her face, tracing her features with innocent curiosity, and Anna laughed softly, feeling a joy that came from pure, unselfish connection. Time seemed to stretch and bend around them. Minutes became hours, though neither Anna nor Maya paid attention to the clock. The park faded into the background, and all that mattered was the bond forming between Anna and the child. In those quiet moments, Anna realized that this simple act of holding a child was teaching her something profound, not just about care and responsibility, but about trust, empathy, and the unexpected ways life could surprise her. Maya watched, silently, her heart full of hope. She had chosen Anna for a reason, and she could see that Anna was beginning to understand. There was a quiet power in the act of holding a child, in being present and patient, and Anna was starting to experience it firsthand. Finally, Maya spoke again, her voice gentle but filled with meaning. You see, this is just the beginning. There's so much more to understand, so much more to experience. But for now, just hold him, care for him, and trust that this moment matters more than you realize. Anna nodded, a sense of calm determination settling over her. She understood in a way she hadn't before that this was not just a simple favor. It was an opportunity, a chance to connect, to learn, and to grow in ways she couldn't yet imagine. As the afternoon sun dipped lower in the sky, casting a warm, golden glow over the park, Anna held the boy close, feeling the weight of responsibility and the lightness of joy at the same time. She knew that something extraordinary was unfolding, even if she didn't yet understand it, and deep in her heart she felt ready to embrace whatever came next. In that quiet, magical moment, Anna realized that sometimes the simplest acts, holding a child, offering kindness, being present, could open the door to unimaginable possibilities. And she knew without a doubt that her life was about to change forever. As the days passed after that extraordinary afternoon in the park, Anna found herself thinking about the child and Maya more often than she expected. What had started as a simple act of holding a struggling child had grown into something far more meaningful. Every time she closed her eyes, she could picture the boy's trusting gaze, his tiny fingers curling around her hand, and the quiet warmth that had settled between them. It was a connection she hadn't anticipated, but one she couldn't ignore. Anna's own life began to feel subtly different. She noticed things she hadn't paid attention to before: the smiles of strangers passing on the street, the gentle sway of trees in the breeze, and the comforting sound of birds singing outside her window. Even her routines felt fuller, richer, somehow. It was as if holding the child had opened her heart in a way she hadn't known was possible. She had always believed she was compassionate, but this experience made her realize that there were depths to empathy she had never explored. One morning, Anna received a message from Maya. It was brief but filled with meaning. "Can we meet today? I want you to see something that will help you understand." Anna felt a rush of curiosity and anticipation. She had no idea what Maya meant, but the tone of the message was sincere and urgent. Without hesitation, she replied that she would come. When Anna arrived at the small cafe they had agreed upon, Maya was already there, sitting at a corner table with the boy by her side. The child's eyes lit up as he saw Anna, and he waved enthusiastically, running to her as soon as she approached. Anna bent down to scoop him into her arms, feeling the same warmth and connection that had begun in the park. "Hello, little one," she said softly, smiling. The boy giggled, leaning against her shoulder as if he had been waiting for this moment. Maya watched them, her face calm, but filled with a quiet intensity. "I wanted to show you something," Maya began, her voice gentle. "Something that will help you understand why I asked you to hold him." She handed Anna a small notebook, its pages filled with drawings, scribbles, and notes in a careful, precise handwriting. "These are his observations," Maya explained. "He notices things that others often miss. He can sense feelings, intentions, and emotions in a way that's unusual for a child his age." Anna flipped through the pages, amazed. The child had drawn small sketches of people and places, with notes describing how they made him feel. There were observations about kindness, patience, and honesty, as well as small moments of empathy he had felt from others. Anna realized that the boy's sensitivity was extraordinary. It wasn't magic. It was a heightened awareness, a deep understanding of human emotion that was rare even among adults. Maya continued, "I wanted you to see this because I believe you can understand him, not just as a child, but as someone who can connect with the heart behind his observations. That's why I asked you to hold him. It wasn't just to calm him. It was to help you begin to feel what he feels, to open your heart to the subtle ways life communicates with us." Anna looked down at the boy, who was now drawing quietly with colored pencils on the table. She realized how much he had grown in the short time she had known him, not just in age, but in the depth of his understanding and awareness. It was astonishing, and yet it felt natural. Holding him had given her insight into a world she hadn't known existed, a world of empathy, connection, and awareness. Over the next few weeks, Anna spent more time with Maya and the boy. Each visit brought new experiences and lessons. They would walk through the park, stopping to observe small details, a bird building a nest, a child helping a friend, or a stranger offering a kind word. The boy would point these things out with excitement, explaining what they made him feel. Anna found herself seeing the world differently through his eyes. She noticed kindness more often, recognized moments of empathy, and even began to understand the unspoken struggles of people around her. It wasn't just the boy who was changing Anna. It was the entire way she viewed her life. She began to reflect on her own relationships, thinking about her family, friends, and coworkers. She realized how often she had overlooked small gestures of care and how much more meaningful life could be when she paid attention to them. Holding the child had taught her patience, observation, and the power of simple, thoughtful actions. One afternoon, as they sat under a large oak tree, the boy suddenly looked up at Anna and said, "You make people happy, even when they don't know it." Anna felt a lump in her throat. His words were simple, yet they carried a profound truth. She had never considered the impact of her presence in such a direct way. Holding him had helped her understand that her actions, however small, could ripple outward, affecting others, in ways she hadn't imagined. Maya watched the exchange silently, her eyes reflecting pride and gratitude. She had hoped that Anna would come to understand the depth of this experience, and now it seemed to be unfolding naturally. "He notices the heart behind actions," Maya said softly. "And he knows when someone is genuine. That's why you were chosen, to connect with him, to learn, and to grow alongside him." Anna nodded, feeling a mixture of awe and humility. She had never considered herself extraordinary, yet this experience made her realize that connection, empathy, and patience were gifts in themselves, and the boy had shown her how to recognize and nurture those gifts. As the weeks turned into months, Anna's life began to shift in subtle but powerful ways. She became more attentive at work, more compassionate with friends, and more patient with strangers. She found joy in small acts of kindness, whether it was helping a neighbor carry groceries, comforting a friend in distress, or simply offering a smile to someone passing by. The lessons she learned from holding the boy were becoming a part of her daily life, shaping her into a more mindful, compassionate person. The boy, too, seemed to thrive in Anna's presence. He laughed more, shared his thoughts freely, and showed a growing confidence in expressing his feelings. Anna realized that their bond was reciprocal. She was learning from him just as much as he was learning from her. Their connection was a silent exchange of understanding, trust, and care, creating a space where both could grow and flourish. One evening, as the sun set over the town, casting a warm golden glow over the streets, Anna reflected on everything that had happened since that first encounter in the park. She thought about the lessons she had learned, the moments of joy, the times of quiet reflection, and the deep sense of connection she now felt with the world around her. Holding the boy had been a simple act, but it had unlocked a profound transformation within her. She realized that life was full of unexpected opportunities, moments where simple choices could lead to extraordinary change. Holding the child had been one such moment, a small gesture that had opened her heart, expanded her perspective, and shown her the power of empathy and presence. And as Anna held the boy that evening, watching him yawn and settle into her arms, she understood something essential. The world was full of unseen connections, hidden lessons, and quiet miracles. Sometimes all it took to experience them was a willingness to care, to be present, and to trust in the journey. In that peaceful golden hour, Anna felt a deep sense of gratitude. She had been given a rare gift, not just the chance to care for a child, but the opportunity to see the world through new eyes, to learn the true meaning of connection, and to grow in ways she had never imagined. And she knew with certainty that this was only the beginning. The journey was far from over. The lessons would continue, the bonds would deepen, and the experiences would grow richer. Holding the child had been a doorway, a simple act that had led to a vast and wondrous new world. And Anna was ready to step fully into it, embracing every moment, every lesson, and every chance to connect with the hearts of those around her. Through it all, she carried with her the quiet knowledge that sometimes the smallest gestures, the simplest acts of care, could change lives in ways beyond imagination. And in that understanding, Anna found a peace, a joy, and a purpose that would guide her for the rest of her days. Over the next few months, Anna's life began to change in ways she hadn't imagined. What had started as a single act of kindness, holding Maya's child in the park, had blossomed into something far deeper and more meaningful. The lessons she had learned while caring for the child were beginning to shape her day-to-day life, guiding her choices, her relationships, and even her dreams for the future. Anna noticed that her thoughts had become clearer. She approached each day with more focus and patience, and the small joys of life became more vivid to her. A simple walk in the park no longer felt ordinary. The laughter of children, the gentle sway of the trees, and the sunlight filtering through the branches carried a quiet, enchanting beauty. Anna found herself stopping to notice these details, savoring them in a way she hadn't before. At the same time, the boy, Liam, as Maya had told her his name, continued to grow in confidence and joy. Anna often spent her afternoons with him, observing how he interacted with the world. He had a way of noticing things others overlooked, the kindness in a neighbor's smile, the small acts of generosity between strangers, or the quiet patience of someone helping another person. Anna realized that by spending time with Liam, she was learning to notice these details herself, seeing the world through a lens of empathy and understanding. Maya remained a quiet but constant presence in their lives. She didn't give explicit instructions or guidance. Instead, she observed as Anna and Liam built their connection. Her trust in Anna seemed absolute, as though she already knew that Anna could understand and nurture what was unfolding. "You're helping him in a way that goes beyond words," Maya said one afternoon, her voice filled with warmth. "You're teaching him trust, patience, and love, and in doing so, you're learning these things yourself." Anna realized that Maya was right. Every moment spent with Liam was a two-way exchange. While she was teaching him calmness and security, he was teaching her to see the hidden patterns of kindness, the ripple effects of small acts of care, and the importance of being fully present, She began to notice how she treated her friends and family with more patience, how she listened more carefully, and how she approached challenges at work with a sense of calm determination. One day, while they were walking through the park, Liam suddenly stopped and pointed to a small bird feeding its chicks in a nest. "Look," he whispered, his eyes wide with wonder. "They're helping each other." Anna knelt down beside him, observing the tiny scene. "Yes," she said softly, "they are. And it reminds us that helping others, even in small ways, can make a big difference." Liam's small hand reached for hers. "Like you helping me feel safe," he said, his voice barely above a whisper. Anna felt a lump in her throat. His words were simple, but they carried profound meaning. She realized that her presence had a real impact, that the trust she had built with him was shaping not only his world, but hers as well. It was a reminder that life's most important lessons often came from the quiet, unspoken moments of care and attention. The transformation wasn't limited to her personal life. Anna's work also began to improve. She found herself more patient with colleagues, more understanding of challenges, and more willing to offer support without expecting anything in return. People began to notice a change in her, though they couldn't quite put their finger on it. There was a calm confidence in her demeanor, a sense of quiet authority that drew others to her. At home, Anna began to reconnect with her family in ways she hadn't anticipated. She called her parents more often, offering support and attention that had been missing in previous years. She reconnected with old friends, sharing her experiences and listening with greater empathy to their struggles. She realized that the lessons she had learned from holding Liam extended far beyond the immediate moment. They were shaping the way she lived her life. Maya, observing all of this, felt a quiet sense of satisfaction. She had known that Anna was the right person for this experience, that the bond they were forming would not only benefit Liam, but also help Anna grow into the person she was meant to be. "You're seeing the world differently now," Maya said, one afternoon as they watched Liam play. "You notice the kindness, the small acts that matter, and the way love can be shared without words. This is the true gift of this experience." Anna nodded, feeling a deep sense of gratitude. She realized that she had been given a rare opportunity to learn from a child, to see life in a new way, and to grow in understanding and compassion. She had been changed not by a single act, but by a series of quiet, meaningful interactions that had gradually reshaped her heart and mind. One evening, as the sun set over the town, Anna sat quietly with Liam in her arms. She watched as he yawned and stretched, feeling the soft warmth of his body against her chest. In that moment, she understood something profound. The simple act of holding him, caring for him, and being present had unlocked a new depth of understanding within her. It wasn't magic in the traditional sense. It was the magic of connection, empathy, and presence. Anna reflected on the journey that had brought her here. What had begun as a simple act of kindness in a park had grown into a life-changing experience. She had learned to see the world through new eyes, to recognize the small but meaningful acts of care that shape our lives, and to understand the profound impact of trust and love. She knew that her life would never be the same. She had discovered a new way of being, one rooted in compassion, patience, and awareness. And she realized that these lessons were not just for her. They were gifts she could share with others, passing on the understanding she had gained to family, friends, and strangers alike. As she held Liam that evening, Anna made a quiet promise to herself. She would continue to embrace this journey, to nurture the connections she had formed, and to live with the awareness that even the simplest gestures could have extraordinary consequences. She understood that life was full of hidden lessons, waiting to be discovered by those willing to open their hearts. And in that quiet moment, with the golden light of the setting sun surrounding them, Anna felt a sense of peace, fulfillment, and purpose. The journey was far from over, but she was ready for whatever came next, knowing that the love, trust, and connection she had experienced would guide her every step of the way. The months continued to pass, and Anna's life continued to evolve in unexpected and beautiful ways. The bond she had formed with Liam had deepened, becoming a source of joy, learning, and growth for both of them. Each day brought new experiences, new lessons, and new opportunities to see the world through the lens of empathy and love. Anna often reflected on how much she had changed. She had become more patient, more aware, and more compassionate. She found herself noticing the small details in life that she had once overlooked. The way a neighbor's smile could brighten a day, the gentle encouragement in a friend's voice, or the quiet generosity of strangers. Holding Liam had taught her to pay attention, to be present, and to recognize the value of each moment. Maya continued to watch quietly, her trust in Anna unwavering. She knew that Anna had embraced the lessons fully, and she could see how this experience had transformed her life. "You've grown in ways I hoped you would," Maya said one afternoon, her voice warm and full of meaning. "And you've taught Liam something just as important. He's learning that kindness, patience, and love are powerful forces in the world." Anna smiled, feeling a sense of deep satisfaction. She realized that the growth she had experienced was not just about understanding Liam or helping him feel safe. It was about discovering her own capacity for empathy and connection. She had learned that life's most meaningful lessons often come from the simplest acts of care, and that even small gestures could create ripples that affected countless lives. One day Maya approached Anna with a quiet seriousness. "There's something I want to share with you," she said. "Something I haven't told you before." Anna listened closely, curiosity and anticipation filling her heart. Maya continued, "I chose you for a reason, not just because you were kind, patient, and caring, but because I sensed that you were ready to understand what this experience could teach. Holding Liam was just the beginning. I wanted you to see, feel, and experience the power of connection, empathy, and trust." Anna felt a lump in her throat. The journey had already changed her in profound ways, and she realized that Maya's words confirmed something she had come to understand on her own. This experience was about more than a single child or a single act of kindness. It was about opening her heart to the world, learning to see and value the small moments, and embracing the responsibility that comes with understanding and compassion. As the day went on, Anna and Maya spent time reflecting on the journey they had shared. They talked about the challenges, the surprises, and the moments of quiet joy that had shaped their lives. Anna realized that she had grown in ways she had never expected, more patient, more aware, and more deeply connected to the world around. Her Liam, as always, was a constant reminder of the lessons she had learned. His laughter, curiosity, and trust had taught her to see the beauty in simple moments, to recognize the impact of small acts of kindness, and to embrace the power of connection. Anna understood that he had been a teacher, guiding her toward a deeper understanding of herself and the world. As the weeks turned into months, Anna began to apply the lessons she had learned in every aspect of her life. She became more attentive to the needs of others, more willing to offer help without expectation, and more appreciative of the quiet beauty that surrounded her each day. She realized that the world was full of hidden opportunities for connection, waiting to be discovered by those who were willing to open their hearts. One evening, as the sun set and painted the sky with warm shades of orange and pink, Anna held Liam close and felt a sense of deep peace. She thought about the journey that had brought her here, from that first afternoon in the park to the countless moments of learning, growth, and connection. She understood now that life's most extraordinary lessons often come from the simplest gestures, and that love, trust, and empathy were the greatest gifts she could give and receive. Maya watched them quietly, a smile of quiet satisfaction on her face. She knew that Anna had embraced the journey fully, and that the lessons she had learned would continue to shape her life for years to come. "You've discovered something truly special," Maya said softly. "And now, you can share it with the world." Anna nodded, feeling a profound sense of gratitude. She had been given a rare gift, the chance to learn from a child, to see life through new eyes, and to grow in understanding, patience, and love. And she knew that this gift was not something to keep to herself. It was meant to be shared, passed on, and multiplied through acts of kindness, empathy, and connection. As the evening deepened and stars began to appear in the sky, Anna realized that her life had been transformed in ways she could never have imagined. Holding a child, offering care and presence, and embracing the lessons of empathy and connection had unlocked a new depth of understanding, joy, and purpose. She felt ready to face the future with an open heart, knowing that the journey was ongoing, and that each moment held the potential for extraordinary growth and transformation. And in that quiet, magical night, with Liam sleeping peacefully in her arms and the world bathed in the gentle glow of starlight, Anna understood the ultimate truth. Sometimes the simplest acts, holding a child, offering kindness, being fully present, can change a life in unimaginable ways. And in doing so, they can transform the hearts of everyone they touch.